Hi everyone. So in this video I just want to talk very briefly about something that I really like on the Polestar, which is Android Automotive. So this is a really great feature that is specifically interesting on this car because it's one of the first, I believe it was the first car to feature it. There will be other cars, but I really like this feature about this car, and it's something that every other car I've got into, it's made me realize how good this actually is, because you have native Google apps, you've got Google Maps, you've got things like Spotify, lots of really, really useful things. Now, there aren't very many apps available at the moment on Android Automotive in the car, but these are growing, and already we've seen things like a better route planner appear, which is really nice, and quite a few good music apps like Spotify, YouTube Music, and Tidal. Now, something that I think is really interesting that I'm just going to talk about in this short video is the evolution of Google Maps. So, on this car, you have over-the-air updates. So over-the-air updates work by allowing Polestar to send a new software to the car. Now, this software is not necessarily specific to the tablet display itself, but is actually for the onboard computers and can affect all kinds of functionality within the car, which is great. But part of those updates tend to be things that change on the tablet. So it could be an update to the Android operating system, for example. But then, without even seeing that happen, you get additional updates. So apps can update like they would on your phone, and one of those that will do in the background without you even noticing is Google Maps. And that can you can just be driving around and it'll just update on its own. You won't even know that'll happen. And one of the things that I really like about it is that it can add new features. So in this short video, I'm just going to go through some of those new features that we've seen lately, and just talk about how good it is that this kind of thing can happen on the Polestar. Okay, so this is the Android display on the car, and obviously it's a lovely screen. I've shown you that in many of my videos. But up here we've got the Google Maps, which we can open up. And this is a really cool app that, you know, if you're familiar with Google Maps, then this is just standard stuff. But a couple of things I want to point out here. We've got the ability to download offline maps. So this might not be obvious to everybody when you get the car because it's in the menu system. But if you go to that there, I have saved that map. And it says here this expires on the 17th of April next year. So that's the app the map area that I've downloaded for offline viewing, which is really useful because it means if you do lose signal, you do have LTE issues, then you've still got some navigation available to you saved on the car. And you can select other areas as well, or an auto download, which is a really good feature. Other than that, there's not really that much to see in here. You've got guidance audio on or off. You have route options, avoid certain things. It's quite simple. Edit home or work, which is good. Offline maps, privacy. But what I wanted to point out, and this is really just a short video to show this, is that they can change things on here. So if I select navigate to Tesco, this is down here. Now that wasn't down there earlier on. If you look back at some of my older videos, you might notice that was up here. And with one of their updates, they moved it to the bottom left, which made a lot of sense because it was out of the way. When it was up at the top left, it was kind of blocking some of the map display. So that was quite clever. But the most recent update to this has added in these little options up here, and I'm going to start on the right hand side, so you can press that coffee shop button and it will now tell you your nearest cafes and places to go to stop for something to eat or a coffee. Tom's Food, that's in Cookfield. That is a really nice place. Amazing cakes and homemade food. And actually they use the coffee from our business, Horsham Coffee Roaster. So yeah, a little bit of endorsement. This is not a sponsored, this is not sponsored by them, but if you're in the area, that's a really nice place to go. And then on this button, we've got supermarkets or shops, I guess. So yeah, I haven't used this before, but it gives you an option, a really nice list of options. And if you keep scrolling, it keeps adding, stop there at 9 options. So that must be what it thinks is the limit to what you need. That's really useful. And then we've got, on this button, we've got restaurants. This is a really nice one at South Lodge Hotel and Heritage. That's a lovely restaurant as well. Also uses our coffee from Horsham Coffee Roaster. So that's cool. You can find places to go. Crabtree's a really nice pub. And this is probably the most interesting feature, and what I really wanted to talk about was the new charging stations option. So if you push that button, it gives you a list of the most local chargers and some information on what they have available to you. So Genie Point here, this number 1 option, is just around the corner from here. I've never actually used it, but it's It's really convenient. And then this one I've used a few times, this ChargeMaster BP. So if you click that, it will show you what's available. You've got a fast 50 kilowatt charger, and you've also got this Type 2 43 kilowatts. So that's really good. And it tells you the compatibility, which is good because it's a reminder that you could use either of those if you want. And but bear in mind, the Type 2 charger is not going to charge at 43 kilowatts. That'll charge at 11. So it's useful if the CCS is broken or damaged, but always use the CCS in the Polestar. And then yeah, so the other thing it shows you, it's within the red line, and if you click on that, it will tell you the star rating up here, which is really good. So you can see what that's like as a location. And then of course you've got the option to save this as a starred favorites, or I might favorite that actually, which is quite useful. So then if we go back, I'm going to scroll down here and show you another one. So these will be slow options. For example, we've got this pod point charger here at the Bolney Wine Estate. So that's kind of cool. They've put in some pod points that are free to use there, and it'll tell you that they're slow 7 kilowatt chargers. And again, if you click on that, you get reviews, and it tells you a bit about Bolney Wine Estate. Good wine, and a nice place to go. So I think this is a really nice feature. This one of one here is supposed to, I believe, be live information as to whether or not you're actually able to use the charger. I don't know how fast and how accurate that is, like if there's a time delay or lag between someone plugging in and this being updated, but it's cool that it's there. Now this is a filter option up here, and compatible plugs compatible with your vehicle Type 2 and CCS combo. So that's really good, because that you want that to be relevant to your vehicle. So yeah, I mean, this is a really useful new functionality that's been added to Google Maps. Previously, if you wanted to access this, the information was still there, but you had to go through this screen and you would hit this button and it would give you charging stations. But I like the fact that you can now just get to these options directly here within Google Maps, and you can also get this filtering option here. If I click compatible plugs, does that do anything? It turns it blue on and off, but doesn't actually seem to do anything. So if I press that button, then that goes off, and I guess it just loads all chargers, but I guess the idea is that you keep that. So if I take that off and press that button, no, it doesn't offer any other options. It's not really obviously clear what that's meant to do, but it doesn't really matter. That must do something. But the point really is that it's a really quick and easy way to get to it when you want to find charging locations. Okay, so my main point with this video really was just to demonstrate a couple of the really useful features in Google Maps and to highlight something that's changed. And it just happened overnight. I wasn't really paying much attention, and then in the last couple of days that appeared there within that row. And I just wanted to briefly talk about how that is a really useful functionality, and key selling point I'd say about the Polestar is that it uses this Google system, which means Google Maps can update and evolve, and it can happen really quickly. It doesn't rely on some kind of complex over-the-air update or having to go to a dealership to get your maps updated, all of that complex kind of stuff. It's really nice that it'll just do it in the background, and you'll come to the car and find that something nice has happened to Google Maps to make it slightly better. So I hope this has been a useful short video, and I'll be back again with another one very soon. Thank you.